Welcome back to Big Fat Fish. This is not going to be the normal weekly business update. This is going to be just a little bit more of like me talking about like where's the business at, how are we doing, how are things going kind of overall. I did make a website. The website is bigfatfishcards.com. If you're going to buy anything from me, go to that website. It's the easiest way. It's the best for me for fees. It's the best for you for like in terms of like contacting me, or I can put the best prices on there too. So go on over to there and that will get updated the most. Yeah, so go check that out. I think it turned out okay. I do need to go back in and like update some things and make some more like graphics and stuff when I have the time. But we'll use code FISHTUBE. If you use code FISHTUBE, you will get an additional 10% off of your order on Big Fat Fish cards for the next, I don't know, let's say like week. Let's do the next week. The next 7 days from when this video was posted, if you use code FISHTUBE, FISHTUBE, you're going to get 10% off of your order at bigfatfishcards.com. It really does mean the world if you buy something from me, if you order from me. That's awesome. I appreciate all of you guys. The support's been great on the YouTube too. I've been posting very sparsely and you guys have still been subscribing, so love to see it. Number two thing, I did get scammed. The guy seemed legit. He messaged me videos like about him talking about the cards and things that we'd mentioned specifically in the messages. So I knew that he had the cards and they were his. But, you know, I paid him and he never responded, never got back to me, just ghosted me. So I'm filing a claim with Cash App, but Cash App isn't very helpful with that. But from now on, I'm only buying cards, PayPal or Venmo, goods and services. They do have that protection. Learn from me. Don't do what I did. I trusted him. Clearly, I shouldn't have, but it happens. It's okay. I'm not like super upset about it or anything. I was a little bit, but we're doing okay now. So inventory wise, I did get, well, the scam was for about $400, which sucks. But inventory wise, I believe we're sitting at about 20, I don't know. I don't have the actual number, but I think it's like 2,400 between cards and cash. I do owe myself a little bit. You know, I paid for the, obviously I had to pay for things like the website. I'm going to pay for the PSA subscription. I'm going to pay for some of the other stuff that's not necessarily product, but it is further advancing the business. So, yeah, I would say maybe 2,800 in stuff and products so far right now, including the cards that I'm going to send out to grading, just because those aren't like technically for sale right now, that it's hard to like calculate, but things are still moving in the right direction. I'm still profiting off every card that I make or every card that I sell. I didn't post it on here, but on Instagram, I made a video talking about how I've actually lost money running the business so far. And I've got a lot of like hate on that video that people don't understand. There's a difference between like operating at a loss and having a loss in like equipment and, you know, initial setup and like learning and stuff. People just, yeah, they just don't get it. That like, I say I've lost $200 since running it, and that was a couple weeks ago, so it could be different now. But like, I bought the cases for the card show that are, you know, $150. You know, I bought 1,000 top loaders, which was $80, and technically I shouldn't have counted that, and I should have averaged that out over the next, you know, 1,000 cards that I sell. But I did count it because that is, I have paid that money that I don't have in my account, and technically I've lost it. It's sitting here. I'm not saying there's no value to it, but technically it's a loss, right? But just things like that I had to buy in bulk, or that I'm going to buy in bulk. Like I bought, you know, shipping supplies and stuff like that. And people can't seem to grasp that concept. So, but yeah, at this point, I believe my business strategy, this is going to kind of shed some light onto the whole plan. Right now, my plan is to keep selling singles for sure. I'm going to try to do more sealed stuff as well on Whatnot specifically. Maybe not Whatnot exactly, but live streams of some sort, whether that's here on YouTube, over on Instagram, TikTok, maybe. I don't really make a lot of TikTok videos for the business just because it's more educational and people are, you know, it's a whole content strategy thing. I picked up a Silver Tempest booster box from the show. Oh, that's another thing I'll talk about. The show was ass. I went to the show. I paid $80 for tables. I'm like, okay, it's probably going to be a decently sized show. It's in Sandy, Utah. It's a pretty good location as far as like being right in the middle of the Utah area. Yeah. Brother, there were 4 vendors and like 3 people in the first hour. So I'm not from Utah. I'm from Idaho. So I drove down 3 hours to get there. I was like, fuck, I don't want to waste the day, waste the gas and stuff and the money. So I called it there was a show across town, like an hour the other way. I called them. I was like, hey, do you guys have any last minute tables available? And they're like, yeah, we have one. I was like, okay, I'll take it. And the guy's like, okay, well, it starts in 15 minutes. How fast can you be here? I was like, I'll be there in 45 minutes. It was an hour drive. I was like, I'll be there in 45 minutes. He's like, oh, okay, that'll work. I was like, okay, cool. So I packed up all my shit, got in the car, and left, and went to the other one. Kind of saved it. There was a bunch more Pokemon stuff, so I had the chance to pick up some cool stuff. Also picked up 3 of the Terrestrial Festival booster boxes. All this stuff is for sale on my website. These I think I'm going to break on Whatnot on Tuesday, tomorrow. So if you're seeing this video early, go save the stream on Whatnot. Links in the description. But yeah, I picked up some cool cards like the Cerulean. I picked up this Mimikyu from Sword and Shield. Yeah, I got some cool stuff. We salvaged it. I literally sold like 1 card and it was mostly trade. I did trade away the base set Charizard for a couple of like smaller smaller singles. Some, like mid-era EXs and stuff that I know is more popular for me. Like I have a lot more people willing to buy those than I do a base set Charizard. So I just wanted to diversify a little bit. I did 100% trade, so it was straight across. And it worked out well for me, I think. Just because I had that card for a while. I was like, it's time to move on to something else. And I already sold a couple of them, so it was definitely a good decision as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, it was a mid-weekend for sure. But what are my plans for the future? What's the business plan? Let's go over it. Going hard on content. Diversifying my product a little bit. Still trying to stay relatively reasonable. I think I'm going to try to stick to mostly modern cards, to be honest with you. I guess it doesn't really matter, honestly, to me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to try to have a lot of cards, though. One thing I am going to try to do is stay between that $300 and $100 range. Occasionally, I might get a $1,000 card or whatever. Like, theoretically, I don't have $1,000 to buy a card right now. But trying to stick in that lower end I think is going to be better for me just because I can do the volume. Like, I'm okay with that at this point. And it might get to a point where, like, I can't pack all the orders myself. So instead of hiring somebody, it makes more sense for me to just scale my products up so I'm making more profit off each one instead of scaling, the operation up where I'm, having to do more. But that could go both ways. You know what I'm saying? You could do both of those things at the same time and it work out for you. So my goal, like, this has been one of the greatest things that I've done in my life so far, is growing this business, and watching it grow is kind of crazy to me. I truly want to get to a point where I can't do it all myself. That's when I'll feel like, okay, like, we're getting somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I have to ask, whether it's my girlfriend to help me or I hire somebody, like, I have to, like, ask for help. It's how I'm like, okay, like this is legit. You know what I mean? This is for real. So appreciate you guys for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. It's kind of long, kind of ranty, but whatever. See you in the next video, and I hope you like this one. Go to bigfatfishcards.com. Use the code FISHTUBE for 10% off for the next week, and I will see you guys later.